Welcome to the Social Chameleon Show, where it's our goal to help you learn, grow, and transform the person you want to become. Today, we want to talk about who's to blame.
Who is to blame?
So this was a fun little book Ransom suggested us to do. There's a nice little story in there and goes through a scenario, and then it's got some, I guess, different outcomes at the end. And then by picking whatever choice you pick, I guess it tells you kind of about yourself. Is that correct, Ransom?
Oh yeah, I guess for those of you out there that may have read the book, I don't know. For me, it was kind of like forced upon me as a high school student by my English teacher. But for some reason, I always remembered this story out of the book.
The book is The Pigman?
The book is called The Pigman, yeah. And then there's a story in here which we'll go over. I'm going to tell you guys a murder story. Ooh. And then from there, so, we'll go over the story. And then from there, from the outcome, it's supposed to kind of tell you what kind of person you are. But I guess over the years, since I've been doing this since high school, I kind of just like to tell the story and I guess see how people react or see what the reasoning's behind. But anyway, nonetheless, I guess we can get into the story real quick. But go ahead.
I read the story, but I did not read the answers and I did not take the quiz. So we're going to do that kind of live in a way on here. I'm going to go through what answer I pick, and we're going to go through what that means. So Ransom knows the thing. I know the story, but I don't know anything past the story. So I think it's going to be kind of fun. We'll see what craziness I come up with, and I think it'll be fun. And I'd like to challenge you guys to, pause when we pause. And then if you haven't read the story, if you haven't done it, go do that. And then join us back when we resume the episode to find out the answers.
Yeah. And then from there, I guess if you're watching this on some type of video media, whether it be Facebook or YouTube or whatever the case, our website originally, Tyson will be sharing, I guess, the image. So that way you don't necessarily, you don't have to sit there with a pen and pencil drawing it. I guess if you're at home listening to this and, only have the audio source without the video and, you're not near a computer or whatever, you can, I guess, get out a pen and paper if that helps you. Or this is a rewindable source. So maybe just rewind about 3 or 4 minutes after the story's told and just kind of, so you can get an idea and kind of go over it. But there's 5 characters in general. And basically, you'll just be working with those 5 characters. But anyway, so I think we're about ready here, Tyson.
Yeah.
You ready?
For the video guys, I'm going to share the image right now. So what the image is a little stick drawing, whatever. It's got in the upper left-hand corner is a house that says wife and husband. And then if you go down a little bit on that left side, there's an assassin. There's a bridge over a river. And then on the bottom right corner is the lover's house. And then in the middle right is the boat and the boatman. So that's the setup of the picture and the story here for you to podcast.
A little storyboard backdrop for those of you that have the bonus effect. But if you don't, I guess we can go ahead and go through with this little murder story here and see and unravel all the mysteries within. Anyway, so the setup for it is there's a river with a bridge over it, and a wife and her husband live on one side. The wife has a lover who lives on the other side of the river, and the only way to get from one side of the river to the other is to walk across the bridge or to ask the boatman to take you. So one day, the husband tells his wife that he has to be gone all night to handle some business in a faraway town. The wife pleads with him to take her with him because she knows if he doesn't, she'll be unfaithful to him. The husband absolutely refuses to take her because she will only be in the way of his important business. So the husband goes alone. When he's gone, the wife goes over the bridge and stays with her lover. The night passes, such a wonderful evening, and the dawn is almost up when the wife leaves because she must get back to her house before her husband gets home. She starts to cross the bridge, but sees the assassin waiting for her on the other side. She knows if she tries to cross, he will murder her. In terror, she runs up the side of the river and asks the boatman to take her across the river. But the boatman wants her to buy a ticket. and she has no money. So he refuses to take her. The wife runs back to the lover's house and explains to him what her predicament is and asks for some money so that she can get a ticket for the boatman. The lover refuses, telling her, this is your own fault. You're getting yourself into this situation. And as dawn comes up, the wife is nearly out of her mind. She decides to dash across the bridge. And when she comes face to face with the assassin, he takes out a large knife and stabs her until she is dead. Dun, dun, dun. So again, if you guys got to rewind the story is probably about maybe 2-3 minutes long. And so your job as you're listening to the story, and for those of you that heard it, maybe wrote it down, is there are 5 characters in the story, right? We have the wife, the husband, the lover, the assassin, and the boatman. So we're just kind of naming these characters in any order, way, shape, or form. But it's your job, if you choose, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to place these characters in the order that you think are most guilty for the wife's death. It's like, So why don't you guys do that? And go ahead and pause the tape. Tyson and I will go ahead and pause. We'll go over our answers. And then from there, we can all come back together and meet up and, can go over the answers and see what's going on with that.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you guys in a second of actual time, but minutes here in our time.
All right. We'll see you there.
Thanks to the magical abilities of editing, we're back.
I know. And the magical presence of time, I guess.
Yes.
And just if you didn't pause the tape and you didn't do the exercise that you're supposed to do, this is your chance.
Stop it again.
Stop it right now. Press pause. No, we're not going anywhere. Make sure you get things done before you continue. Otherwise, you might miss something.
Here we go. So none of us have talked about this at all. We don't know what our answers are. I've never gone through this exercise at all. I purposely stopped reading the book right after that story ended. Skip right past it onto the next chapter. So I don't know how it ends or anything like that. Ransom does. My list in order of most to blame to least to blame: wife, lover, boatman, assassin, husband. Ransom, what is your list?
I think it's kind of, maybe this is why we're friends. We both put the husband as being last.
There you go.
That's why we're friends. But we're also there, yeah. So my order was wife, assassin, lover, boatman, then husband.
I see.
That's just kind of, first and last, we're kind of similar. That's why we're friends.
Right.
But I don't know. So I guess for me, and the big take why I wanted to share the story with everybody, is kind of like the process. Mm-hmm. Like I'm always intrigued by the process of things. So like, I guess, did you want the answers for it, or did you want to go through the process of it? I don't know.
You're running a show here. Whatever you think is most valuable in whichever order you think is. So
for me, I guess I just don't want to kind of give away, but we'll get to the answers another. You know what? We'll just go through the answers. Okay. That's good. For those of you that answered, okay, the wife, each of the characters is supposed to represent something that you value in life, right? And the way that you order the characters who are responsible for her death is supposed to dictate, which values you put in life first, which is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. So not saying anything about you. It's not a foolproof test. It's a book that was written like 20 years ago, whatever the case might be. But anyway, so if you picked the wife, then that represents fun. Okay. If you picked the lover, that represents sex. If you picked the boatman, that represents magic. Okay. If you picked the assassin, that represents money. And if you pick the husband, then that represents love.
And this is if you pick that person first.
Huh?
That's if you pick that person first, or whatever order you.
Yeah. So whatever order you did. So I just have mine here. I picked the wife, the assassin, the lover, the boatman, then the husband. So the things that matter to me in my life, according to this test, is fun comes first, then money comes first, then sex, then magic, and then love. And like that's just kind of
fun, sex, money, magic, love. That's mine. So that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just kind of how the take goes. But for me, I always like going over why, why did you pick the wife first? Like, to me, that's the important question.
Right.
Like, why did you pick that person?
You asking me?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm asking you. Well, why did you in going through all of it? Why did you pick the wife?
She's ultimately responsible. She chose to leave, go across the bridge, and fuck off, behind her husband's back. It's your fault, your problem. If you stayed home and, if you have problems at home, you're unhappy in your marriage, like you should have solved that. Like going and running across the bridge to your lover's house isn't the answer. So you're ultimately to blame. You chose to be whatever it is you want to call it, unfaithful, whatever, or scared or no guts or whatever you want to call it to get out of that relationship or fix it. That's your problem. Like you chose not to do that and instead to go fuck around on your husband with a lover. So everything that happens after that is your fault.
We get it. F around with your husband. Okay, you said it multiple times. But anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not bad. Whatever choices she made from there on out, like you didn't want to deal with the problem. And so all the things after that is all your fault.
I know, but then another person would jump in and be like, well, let's just be real here. The assassin's the guy that killed her.
Right. But guess what? If she was in her house,
he's the one that's most responsible for it. Like he's the one that killed her. How is that
right? So that's
not even in the court of law.
Yes.
Like the assassin.
He's guilty for murder. Yes.
Provided they found the murder. I mean, if they find the murder weapon, it'll be murder. If not, it'll be attempted. And I don't know. Whatever. Right. But
sure. Yes.
He's responsible. Right.
Right. But if she wasn't crossing the bridge, there would be no toll to pay.
See, this is the kind of part, and this is the part that I love about telling this story. And this is why, I like all of these things. It's like there are so many things that could have changed in the story.
Yeah.
And for me, I guess I was going to pick the assassin first because he's the one that killed her.
Right.
But you're right, though. There is an element, right? She's the one that decided to do what she did. She didn't have to run across the bridge when the assassin was there.
Right.
She could have stayed on the other side, let her husband come home, all those kinds of things.
Yep.
But then let's take a look at the lover and the boatman. It's like, if you're the boatman, like how hard is it to just be like, oh, you don't got a ticket? Nah, why don't you just jump on? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like,
which is why I debated between who's next most responsible, lover or boatman. Like, where's to me, both of them were fucking dicks. Like, but maybe she didn't convey the severity of the message. I don't know. It's hard to say. But
that's hard to say too.
Right. So let's just say she did a good job, like pleading or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, I can see the boatman like, listen, lady, I get your problem. I don't know if I believe it, but I hear what you're saying. But listen, I got to run a business. If it comes up to me with a sob story, trying to cross the river for free, I'm not going to make it.
Right.
So it's like, I was like, okay, I got to bump you down a level. So, but it's like, you go to the lover's house and it's like, even if that was some sob story, like to get across the bridge, like
this is still your lover, right? Like,
right. Like maybe
you just had intercourse with this guy.
Right.
And like, he's not going to help you cross the river.
Yeah. I mean, right. So it's like, you couldn't have threw up a $5-10, like, all right, listen, like you got this story. You want to get in a boat. I get it. Like, I'll throw you a 20, like I'll call you an Uber. Like, I'd like you to come back here another. I'd like you to come back here another time. Like, I enjoyed this. Like, it's worth like an Uber ride. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, so like, that's why I chose him as 2. Like, I think.
And that's kind of, I think I'm in agreement. They are kind of in similar circumstances. I never kind of really put that together that possibly maybe the lover, because they have a connection or because he knows her, the story should be more believable and whatever the case might be. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. For me, the lover and the boatman can easily be interchangeable.
Right.
Whatever that is. But then like the husband,
did you go? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Like the husband last though. Oof.
There's nothing to do with it.
How does he have nothing to do with it?
Zero.
He could have taken her with. He could have taken her with him.
But why?
Solved all the problems.
Should you take your wife to work with you because she's like scared to be at home alone?
She wouldn't have cheated. She wouldn't have got killed.
That's not his fault. That's not his problem.
She wouldn't have been a beggar. Like, come on.
That's not.
How is that not his problem at all?
Him leaving to go to work on a business trip, whatever, has nothing to do with other things in their life or relationship or her problem. Like, is he responsible for the relationship being shitty? Absolutely. He's definitely 100%.
I mean, how are you going to go on business trips and like leave the wife alone? Like, you know what I'm saying?
But you should be able to go on business trips
without your wife. Like, what? I don't know.
I don't want to pack up my whole family to go on a business trip or go on a talk or go to a meeting. Like, it's not your place to come with me.
Real. You gotta pay all expenses paid vacation to Dubai. Like, seriously.
Right.
You wouldn't want to bring your wife and kids?
If I could make a vacation out of it, absolutely. If I can make a trip out of it, absolutely.
So why would you be in disagreement about him taking her with? Like, I don't know.
But
I don't know, man.
Okay.
See, and that's kind of the part where, and seeing like, I mean, just to rattle the title. I don't want to drag this around any longer than it needs to be. But see, this is the interesting part of the psychological process. This is the interesting part where, it's between the lines. Like when you go over and you think in your head, like, oh, he could have just taken her. And like, oh, that like, or maybe it relates to like, oh, my husband or my wife doesn't do that for me and blah, 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 blah. It's his fault. It's his fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like these are the things that create these values. You know what I mean? So for whatever purpose it is, and sometimes it's just the way the story is told, because the original story, it's 50 cents, but you got to remember this was written a while.
Right.
It's 50 cents across the board. Like nowadays, 50 cents is like nothing. Like you can't give somebody 50 cents. That's your fault, number one. Yeah. But who knows, right? That's why I left the dollar value out. I just said she didn't have any money to buy a ticket. The ticket could have been 50 cents, could have been $500. Who knows? The point was that they weren't going to give her a ride. So anyway, like I just find it interesting to go through that process. I don't know. Do you think it's kind of interesting?
It is. It is because you could easily justify blaming every person on this list. Like you went assassin number 2.
I was going to put assassin number 1 because he's the guy that killed her. Let's be real. Real. No, but she did decide to run across the bridge.
Right. So guilty of a crime and being responsible for the crime may not be the same thing.
Oh, you're such a donkey. Like, seriously, the guy holding the knife didn't kill her. Like,
he
come on.
He killed her. I'm not denying the fact that murder was committed. Not denying that. But
how does that even make it his fault?
There, if you weren't there, the murder wouldn't have been committed.
You're so dumb.
Right? He would have murdered somebody else. You wouldn't have been the person murdered if you weren't stepping on your husband, if you weren't off fucking off, if you whatever.
I get what you're saying, and that's kind of why I put the wife first, because she actually ran into it. Right. She kind of had a feeling that shit was going to happen, and she did it anyway. It's kind of what I do.
Maybe she should have listened to more like Jocko and just took jiu-jitsu, and maybe she could have had some nice defense tactics. I don't know, but there we go again. It's all on her. Like,
Maybe instead of making lovers with the guy that owns the house, she just should have had a love affair with the assassin, and this just could have been avoided.
Or the boatman. There's opportunities here.
There's opportunities. But anyway, again, the whole point of this situation, which is why, I thought I'd make this a fun episode and kind of like, for whatever reason, you can sit here and justify as many reasons as you want to who's the guilty party. Mm-hmm. And all of these justifications, believe it or not, come from something that's deep within and that kind of stems from this whole process as to things that you value in life. Mm-hmm. So just looking at my buddy, because I know him, fun, sex, magic. I'm actually surprised money was not at the top of your list.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic.
I can't blame the boatman.
But the assassin's the money. That's why I was trying to pry at you. But
yeah.
But surprisingly enough for me, like love doesn't come high on that list. But I mean, I guess if you look at my relationships,
it is interesting that, I mean, by this all account of this, it's like love is the last thing on the list. Like, maybe I can't see that being true. Like,
yeah, I don't know either.
I would give up a lot of these things. You know what I mean? Easily for my children or for my close friends or for my wife, or you know what I mean? Like my brother, my sister.
If you look into it deeply, like I definitely agree with fun being is like your number one. You're a fun guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
We have lots of fun together. That's why we do the show. You know, but again, number one, just the person that you picked as the number one slot is probably the thing that drives you most, which is kind of interesting. The rest of the list, I'm not really sure. It's just kind of meant to throw you off.
Yeah.
So that you could actually pick something that's number one, which is kind of cool. But
I think to me, the ultimate lesson I'm drawing from this is it starts with you. Like if you're spending your life blaming everybody, blaming others, it's everybody's fault but my own. Like, guess what? You're going to end up murdered on the side of the bridge. You know? Metaphorically speaking, hopefully not literally. I wish the best on everybody.
I think we're going to air this on Thursday. It's all right, guys. If you need help, dude, call somebody.
Please.
You're in a situation.
Yes.
Go call somebody. But anyway.
Please. But it all comes back to you. The decisions you're making, the choices you're making, the people that's influencing these things, the information being put into your mind, the things you're doing with your body, and all these things factor into what's going on in your head, the thought processes that go on. If you spend your whole life blaming everybody, it's not my fault the grass isn't green. It's not my fault my boss is an asshole. It's not my fault this. It's nothing's my fault. Guess what? You're right. And everything will always be your fault. And you'll always have this shitty life because guess what? Wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah. But I mean, again, I'm not trying to get back to blaming. I'm not really a big person on blaming other things and all this kind of stuff. It's just realize that you can justify just about anything.
Yeah.
Right. There's deep-seated values inside of you that are causing these justifications for different things. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's not necessarily about, in this case, blaming anybody for being responsible for this lady's death. It's more about finding the reasoning behind it. Again, that's kind of why I like to go over, like, why did you pick this? Why did you pick that? Like, because these kinds of things will kind of help bring out like what you value in your life, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, you want to pause the tape real quick and then we can go over closing real quick.
With valuing things and, you know, things you value, we like to go out there and we like to find products, services, books, whatever it is that brings value to your life and brings these things to your life. Every month we have a giveaway, and I'd love to you guys to jump in there. You guys can head over to thesocialchameleon.show/pickme. Find out what we got going on. We like I said, to bring things that bring, you know, help improve your life, add value to life. You make your life more efficient, more effective, whatever it is. Get into this month's giveaway. We want to help you guys accelerate your growth, accelerate your things, whatever we can do to help. We want to do. Check out this month's giveaway, thesocialchameleon.show/pickme for your chance to win this month's giveaway. And like I said, in the beginning of this, I'll link to the book, the photo of the thing, and I'll have the story in there so you guys can easily read it. You guys can share it with your friends. You guys can discuss this, get around and talk about it, see what you guys come up with. I'll link to all the whole thing for you guys. It's easy to get to, so you guys can talk about that with your friends. Anything else, Ransom, for that?
No, I think those are all good things to put in there for the links. I think I kind of want to put the answers, but maybe maybe we should hide the answers in the comment section. I don't know.
You know what I'll do? I'll hide the answer. So it's not plain as day when you're just scrolling through. You have to click something and let it open up, and the answers will be in there for you guys. So
Okay, that kind of works. I don't want people to have the answers right on the comments, but the story should definitely be there for you to check out.
Yeah, the story. Right. Yeah, I'll lay the story out, and I'll have like a box that you can click, and it'll open up the text file with the answers and how they all kind of go down. You know, it is fun. I think you guys can have a good conversation with friends and family, and you know, maybe it's not about necessarily are these values 100% true? Maybe not, but the thought of it, about it, like the thing I like about it is like where's the blame? Who are you blaming things for? Like, that's, to me, like, that's what jumps out of this. Like, where are you passing the buck? How are you thinking about these things? I think that's the fun there.
Yeah.
And then with this week's challenge,
I'd
like to challenge you to take a look in your life and what are you blaming other people for? Are you passing the blame to others? Are you not taking responsibility for what's going on in your life? You know, everything, and the way I look at things, it's all 100%. It's always your fault for whatever reason it is. You know, either you're allowing this, you're not training, you're not being, your communication is wrong, whatever it is, it's always your fault. If you can start there and say, why did this go wrong? You know, what did I do wrong? What did I not do right? And stop just looking around and just blaming everybody. It's easy to blame everybody else. It's hard to look at ourselves and say, it's my fault. And where did I go wrong? And how can I make sure this doesn't happen again? That's the challenge I want for you guys this week. I want you guys to look around and see where you're passing the buck and start pointing the finger back to yourself.
Yeah. And I guess I'm just going to add a caveat onto that challenge is, like, there are many situations and where there are a lot of factors that are out of your control, you know, and I challenge you even further in those situations where everything is out of your control. Look at what you could have done differently. You know what I mean? Look at something that you did. Maybe it was attitude you had, or maybe it was a solution that you came up with, but look further than that. Yeah. And then rolling right along into our final thoughts, you know, just in this story, right, we give you the answers, right? The wife equals fun, right? The lover equals sex. The boatman equals magic. The assassin equals money. The husband equals love. Okay. But in real life, the answers aren't given to you on a silver platter. So these things that you're blaming, these things that you're looking at, you know, they kind of correspond with something else that's inside of you. And only you know what that is. Yeah. So you kind of got to dig deep and find the answers to what it is you're blaming, you know, and that'll kind of help you on your journey when you want to grow. I think that's it.
And if you're looking to help other people, either have a discussion or help them grow, share this with them. The best way to support the show is sharing with others. If you liked what we got going on here, you're welcome to leave a like and a review on your favorite podcast app, as well as YouTube, Facebook, whatever you like. You can connect with us between episodes at The Social Chameleon Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. For past episodes and links to everything we talk about here today, you can visit thesocialchameleon.show. Until next time, keep learning, growing, and transforming into the person you want to become.